Hello, lower elementary. Today we are going to talk about the formation of the earth. 4,600 million years ago, the earth was one of the rocky inner planets. And gravity of the earth was still attracting dust and gases, asteroids, as well as meteoroids and comets. There were many collisions during those first millions of years. And due to those collisions, the earth began to heat up. And there was also heat building internally from radioactive materials. Here we have a ball of plasticine, which is a type of clay. And I just took this out of my freezer. So it's very cold. If you could feel it, you would feel it to be very cold. You would think that it was very hard, just like our earth was hard, as it was made of hard rock. But as I begin to squeeze this in my hand, and if we were together, we could all take turns squeezing this, it becomes squishier. And this is what happened to the earth. My hand is heating up the clay, the warmth from my body. And as the earth became hotter and hotter, it began to become molten. And when bodies collided with the earth, they were absorbed and became part of the earth. So the earth grew larger. The earth began to cool down after about 100 million years, when it reached its present size. As this cooling occurred, the elements began to sort into layers. The heavy elements sunk to the center, and the lighter elements stayed on the top and rose to the top. So we're going to put in some stones for our heavier objects, and then I have some beads that we'll put in for our lighter objects. Okay. As we shake, we see that the heavier stones sunk to the bottom, while the lighter materials stayed on the top. Now we're going to show another demonstration on how the heavier objects went to the center of the earth and the lighter objects rose to the top. I'm going to fill this up with some honey. Okay. Now we're going to put a weight in and see what happens. And the honey is very thick. It's very dense and thick liquid. Here we go. And you can see that the weight sunk straight to the bottom. Now let's take something much lighter, like a piece of chalk, break that off, and see what happens to the chalk. This is another example of how the heavier elements went to the center of the earth and the lighter elements rose to the top. So once again, the demonstrations we just watched showed us how the heavier elements deposited in the center of the earth and the lighter elements rose to the top. So the center, and then this would be the top. Next, we're going to take a closer look at what type of matter settled in each one of these layers and what they're called.